Okay, so when you finish making the top and bottom shells, you will have two, they're not flat anymore. They've got sides that come up. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Uh-oh, this doesn't have enough rows. All right, let me check this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we can either work with it as it is, or I can add more, but this yarn has been cut. There's not enough for me to do any more. So this one's just going to be a little bit shorter. That's okay. All right, so I've got my two shells, and you can see that they're slightly different sizes because they're slightly different yarns, and that's okay. As long as the stitch count matches, which they should both have 50 stitches. Cadence made these. I'm assuming she did a good job because she's pretty good at this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to put them together. Okay, so we're going to take the bottom shell and we're going to put it inside the top shell. Now, I want the top shell to be right side out, but I don't want the bottom shell to just be inside it right side out, because that means once I get done stitching them together, I can't pop it out and it be right side out. So I'm going to flip the bottom shell over and push it so that it's like inside out right now. Okay. So now when I look at it, I've got these pretty neat rows here, like a spiral, and same thing out here. All right, we're going to do one more thing before we start putting them together, and that is we're actually going to take out an entire row of stitches from our top shell so that I have lots of yarn to put them together, because right now I just have this little tail. That's not going to be enough. So I'm going to use my hook itself as a stitch marker, and here I go. I'm going to take out a whole row of stitches. It's okay, don't worry. This is just making sure we have enough yarn to finish. Okay, I'm going to do one extra just in case. Okay, and because I stuck my yarn in like this, I wasn't in the middle of it. I could have kept on going, so be careful when you do that. Okay, so now I'm going to insert my hook. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck that in, and I'm going to tuck all of these strings in from my other bottom shell. Okay, I'm actually going to move it around so that where I'm starting my way around is also where the last one ended. It's okay if you don't do that. It's just how I'm choosing to do it. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to do this by holding my yarn the right way and holding my project. And this is actually going to be a lot easier than you think. We're going to insert into the next stitch just like we would any other time. The only difference is I'm going to insert into the bottom shell as well. So you can see that I'm underneath the V on this one and I'm underneath the V on that one. The V's happen to face different directions, but that's okay as long as I'm underneath both of them. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through both of them to get it up onto my hook, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through to finish the stitch, just like we've been doing. Okay, you get to see that several more times. Here we go. Through this one and through that one. Okay, yarn over, pull through both of them, and then we're going to finish the stitch. Okay, so it looks like just any old stitch out here, but I'm also grabbing this inside and stitching there as well. So that's going to actually keep them connected to each other. All right, so we're going to do that every stitch until we get all the way around. So underneath both of them, yarn over, pull through. Underneath both of them, yarn over, pull through, yarn over. Remember, the single crochet has two parts to it. Inserting the hook and yarning over to draw another loop up onto the hook, so now we have two, and then yarning over and pulling through those hooks, pulling through those loops to get them back off the hook, and we have a new one. So you can see, because this is color changing yarn, where I am stitching into both this inner shell or the bottom shell on the inside, and then also I'm stitching into this. So the stitches themselves are going to hold it together. I don't have to sew them together with a needle. We'll get to sewing when we get to some of our other pieces, but it's really cool when you're able to crochet two pieces of work together. So here we go. Going around. I'm going to pause and I'll meet you guys close to the other side because all of this is the same as the first 5 stitches that I showed you. Just going to show you kind of where I'm at. The inside shell, which had the 11 layers like it was supposed to, and the outside shell, which only had 11 when after I ripped a row out, are not really fitting inside each other super well. So I'm kind of just having to tuck it in as I go a little bit. And that's okay because we're going to stuff it. So just keep making sure that your stitches line up with each other, which might require a little bit of squishing and wiggling. Okay, so you're just going to keep doing your stitches. And you can see it's already starting to like pop back out over here. It's okay. The stitches are going to hold it together. Just want to do them maybe a little bit tighter than you had been doing if you were doing looser stitches. Okay, so I'm going to continue working my way around. Okay, I stopped with several stitches left open here because I don't want to close it all the way up, because if I close it all the way up, then it'll be stuck like that forever and I won't be able to put any stuffing inside it. So once you've gotten your shell mostly together, you're going to open it back up so that you can stuff it. Now for stuffing, you can either use the typical stuffing, which is polyester fiberfill, or you can literally put anything you have. You could put extra yarn in there, like when you cut off other scraps, or you could put stuffing from an old pillow. You could put pretty much anything in there. And once you get it stuffed, which I don't have the stuffing right now, you're going to continue to sew, or not sew, but crochet those last little bit together. Now, if you're running out of tail, then what you're going to do is just stop crocheting and you'll go ahead and grab your needle and just sew it shut that way. Crocheting it together takes more yarn than sewing it together. So if you run out of yarn, just go back a couple stitches and use your needle to finish it up. So then you can just flip it right side out and kind of roll these stitches down. So it's got like the top shell and the bottom shell. Okay, so it'll look something like that once it's got all its stuffing in there. Obviously, it'll be a little bit more puffy than that. And then you'll be ready to add the rest of the parts to it. And you've got a fun little ball. You can play catch with it in the meantime. Okay,